I'm looting devil fruit in one piece. Chapter 21-40. 21. Devil Fruit Curse. During this process, Ace was full of doubts. Because the strength of this Yuan song is a bit too perverted. Not to mention that the other party has a terrifying strength, the other party also has a strange ability, which has never been seen before. In this regard, Yuan Jie felt very headache. Naturally, Yuan Jie couldn't tell Ace clearly about this. If he made it clear, the guy with the white beard would definitely come to him. The opponent's devil fruit is still here. For the devil fruit that they plundered from others, in the eyes of other people, this is just a curse from the devil fruit. They don't want to think about themselves. Of course, Yuan Jie knew that as he became more and more high profile, this secret would be known by more and more people. Yuan Jie felt that he could not be the enemy of Whitebeard yet. He was also looking forward to Ace being captured by Blackbeard. Because Zhuang Yuan seems to think that the advanced city is a good place, a place to collect devil fruits. There are a lot of pirates in there. And among these pirates, there are many capable ones. If Ace is caught, then he will have a reason to attack the advanced city. Therefore, at this time, Yuanj can only develop according to the original plot. Yuanj's flight speed was quite fast, and then they came to Alabasta. Ace is going to find Blackbeard, and they are going to Rainforest to find Crocodile. Then, they set off towards the rain. In this regard, Yuan Jie was very puzzled. Shouldn't they be heading for a new route? Why did you leave the new route to Yudu now? Yuan Jie just perfunctory these guys, saying that he was going to do something. Because Yuanj's speed is very fast, they feel that Yuan should not delay a lot of time. Moreover, with the strange ability of this uncle, the time spent on their original journey was greatly reduced. As for the green pheasants, they met Smog and his party behind. General, what's your situation? Seeing the dignified admiral look like this, Smog asked in a puzzled way. That guy is indeed very powerful, even I am not the opponent's opponent. I fought the opponent, and I was defeated. Qingzi is not the kind of person who loves face very much. He said that he lost to Yuanj. Hearing this, Smog was extremely surprised. Because he never thought that this guy's strength is so terrifying. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? Why is his strength so terrifying? Smoker asked in confusion. Such a powerful person, they should have heard of it, but they had never heard of it at all, which made him very puzzled. If I'm not mistaken, the other party may be on the ship of One Piece Roger. Aokiji said at this time. Hearing this, Smog was very shocked. Because he did not expect that that guy turned out to be on the One Piece ship. He's on the One Piece ship, why haven't I seen it in those bounty lists? Smog knows a lot about One Piece, because he came out of Rog Town, because he also knows a lot about him. But he hadn't heard of this man. Do you know that curse? What curse? As long as the pirate group that has fought against Roger, the devil fruit ability among them, their devil fruit ability will disappear. Aokiji said lightly at this time. Hearing this, Smog was very shocked at this time. He had heard of this legend. It's probably not a curse, but this guy. Soon, Smoker thought of something. General, has your devil fruit power gone too? Smog asked curiously at this time. Hearing this, Aokiji walked away and frowned. Then he asked, did your devil fruit ability also disappear? That's right, since I fought the opponent, the power of my devil fruit disappeared. I thought something happened to my body, but I didn't expect it to be such a reason. Smoker figured it all out. Do you have a phone bug here? It's a big deal, and I'm going to report it to headquarters. Hearing this, Smoker immediately found the phone bug and handed it to Aokiji. Then Aokiji quickly dialed the phone bug of the Warring States period. You are Marshal. I am Aokiji. What happened to the green pheasant? What's going on with you? Sengoku asked with concern at this time. Sorry, I screwed things up. Hearing this, the Warring States were shocked. because they didn't expect that Aokiji would screw up this matter. You must know that in addition to being lazy, Chingzi is very reliable in doing things, so the Warring States period gave such a thing to Chingzi. Of course, part of the reason is that he is very optimistic about Aokiji. Tell me what's going on. I was beaten by that guy. Hearing this, Warring States was shocked again, because he did not expect that Chingzi was defeated by the opponent. You were actually beaten by that guy. Tell me how the other party beat you. After hearing this news, the Warring States also paid more and more attention to Yuanj. Because he can defeat Aokiji, the opponent is definitely a big pirate, and he is not the most powerful one. The opponent's three-color arrogance and swordsmanship are very powerful. Of course, the most important thing is that the opponent's has a strange ability, so I guess I was defeated. And after I was defeated, the ability of my frozen fruit also disappeared. So I think decades ago, that curse about the Roger Pirates had something to do with this guy. There is still such a thing. I immediately sent someone to investigate, who is this guy? And what is the strength of the other party? Sengoku is also very curious about the strength of the other party, because that is very important for pirates. In my opinion, the opponent should have the strength of the four emperors. Hearing this, the Warring States at this time could not close their mouths in surprise. Originally, the four emperors had already caused their navy to feel a lot of headaches. Now there is another guy with the strength of the four emperors. Does this allow their navy to have a peaceful day? Even Smog next to him was very shocked when he heard this. 22. 1.5 billion bounty. Because he didn't expect that that guy would have such terrifying strength, he just couldn't imagine it. But this is only the strength of the opponent. The strength of the crew of the opponent is not very high. They can threaten the people of our navy, only the Eagle Eye. If my guess is correct, that guy should be looking for the crew. Build your own sphere of influence. Hearing this, Sengoku didn't know what to say. Obviously, Sengoku felt that this was also a very troublesome thing. After reporting these important matters, Warring States hung up the phone. Then, the Navy called an urgent meeting. When the Warring States period said what Ouchi said at the meeting, many people did not believe it. Especially Doflamingo. That guy is just a newcomer, and he is so powerful. It can only be said that you guys are too useless, so you are not the opponent's opponent. If I go, that guy will definitely be taken care of by me. Be docile. Although Doflamingo is the king of Chiwahai, the other party does not take the navy in his eyes. If you have the ability, go and fight with each other. Akainu was extremely unhappy at this time. Is my brain ill and want me to fight? Then the navy will solve such a scourge for free for your navy. Obviously, Doflamingo is not stupid, because these guys obviously want to provoke themselves, and then use their own hands to deal with that guy. Although Brother Doflaming said this, he also knew that the guy who could defeat Aokiji must be very difficult. If he went to deal with the other party, he would also suffer a lot of losses. What do you think about this recently emerging Yuan song? At this time, the Warring States period consulted other people for advice. For this matter, the Warring States is also very headache. He believed in Aokiji very much. If it is really like what Aokiji said, then the other party will have a great impact on the current form. I think such a guy who is a powerful threat to our navy should eradicate him. Akainu said at this time. Of course, there is another aspect that is said to Doflamingo. Because this Doflamingo is too arrogant, which makes Akainu look very uncomfortable. As for the yellow monkey, at this time, he did not express any opinion on this matter. He just showed his usual grinning look. Then, other people have their opinions. How about letting the other party join the Chiwahai? This time someone suggested. Now the Chiwahai has no place. Didn't Hawkeye leave Chiwahai? Let the other party join. Hearing this, Doflamingo smiled and said, Eagle Eye has left. Now the other party is the captain. Do you think the other party will join in, and that fellow Eagle Eye didn't say that he wants to quit Chihuahua. In the end, they did not discuss any results. It's just that Yuan's bounty has been changed to 1.5 billion Bailey from the original 300 million Bailey. In this regard, in the view of the Warring States period, this is still very mismatched with the strength of the opponent. However, these are the suggestions made by these people. And the other party has not done a very bad influence now. In this emergency meeting, they did not discuss countermeasures, but only discussed each other's bounty. When Yuan's bounty went out, the whole world was boiling. Because they never thought that this newcomer, who had just become famous, has now reached such a high bounty. You know, the pirates' bounty for themselves represents the embodiment of strength. After seeing Yuan's high bounty, many pirates expressed their dissatisfaction. Because this guy just came out with 300 million Baileys, and now it has suddenly risen to 15 Baileys. This increase is too fast. Of course, the most important thing is that they don't know much about this pirate, and the other party has not done anything earth-shattering. The other party is just a small pirate from the East China Sea. As for the Navy, for the sake of face, the news that Qingzi was defeated by Yuan was not announced. They just announced Yuan's bounty. Therefore, whether it is the Navy or the pirates, Yuan is also very controversial. Even a lot of pirates and the Navy began to fight Yuan's idea. Because in their opinion, the actual strength of this Yuan song did not reach 1.5 billion Bailey, such a high bounty. Therefore, in the eyes of these guys, Yuan is a sweet pastry. If he kills the pair, then he can get 1.5 billion Bailey, which is not a small amount. For all this, Yuan did not know. He also misses those devil fruits in Crocodile. He wants to collect devil fruits as soon as possible, so that he can be with his family members earlier. This is Yuan's pursuit in this world now. Naturally, the wanted order was passed to the hands of the 4 emperors. After seeing this wanted notice, Shanks behaved normally. Because he knew that Yuan's strength was very powerful. As for Whitebeard, I never imagined that this winemaker would have such great skills. This made him very puzzled. Because this guy was making wine on the Roger pirate ship, how did he suddenly become so powerful now? You have to know that your deputy captain, Marco, is even lower than this guy. Is this guy so powerful? Whitebeard is also a person who has been in the sea for so long. He knows the meaning of this bounty. The strength of pirates is only part of it, and it is more of a threat to the world government. But they haven't heard anything about Yuan recently. Obviously, these things have been covered up by the Navy. As for why it was covered up, it was definitely for the Navy's face. After dealing with the Navy so many times, Whitebeard still understands this very well. After thinking of this, Whitebeard felt that he had to examine Yuan. As for Auntie and Kaido, they didn't care much about it, because the other party was just a 1.5 billion guy, and his bounty was still a lot lower than his own, and the other party was obviously not a big role. Crocodile did not attend this emergency meeting of the Navy this time. Because he still has big things to do. But he also knew this. For Yuan, Crocodile is also very interested. Because the bounty for such a guy came out with 300 million Baileys, and even reached 1.5 billion Baileys. You know, his own bounty is only 81 million Baileys bounty, but he doesn't have the strength of Kaido and Auntie, so he doesn't take Yuan seriously. Crocodile even came up with the idea of pulling the other party into his work club. At this time, Robin ran over and told Crocodile that a few people suddenly came outside, saying that they were here to teach him a lesson. Hearing this, Crocodile was very angry. Because the other party dared to teach himself a lesson without weighing himself. Of course it was Yuan who said this. 23. Bucky who feels good about himself. Yuan felt that at this time, he was no longer low-key, so he had to be high-profile when doing things. The fact that he defeated Aokiji will soon be known by the Navy, and he will also become the focus of the Navy's idea. Robin still doesn't know about Yuan, so she doesn't know Yuanj and the others. Crocodile didn't have any tension, because in his opinion, it was just a few little devils who came to provoke him. Mr. Zero, those people don't seem to be easy, Robin said to Crocodile at this time. Although Robin doesn't know Yuanj and his party, Robin knows Hawkeye. Hawkeye is also in that group, so she feels that the identity of this group is very complicated. Miss All Sunday is just some clamoring bugs, what's not easy? Obviously, Crocodile didn't take those guys seriously, because he sees this kind of thing a lot. Seeing this, Robin didn't say much at this time. Yuanj and his group were standing outside the city at this time because of the two giants behind them. Although Yuanj is a pirate, he is not the kind of vicious person. If he brings these two giants into the city, those guys in the city will suffer. Crocodile arrived soon after, but it was the two giants that he saw first, Donley and Brokey. Is it the two of you clamoring here? At this time, Crocodile was wearing a big sweater and smoking a cigarette. Standing there, he only felt very bad. You two don't think you are too big. Crocodile, don't take you seriously. Crocodile obviously did not take the two giants in his eyes. Hearing this, Yuanj also burst out laughing. Because this crocodile is the king of Chihuahua, but the bounty is only 81 million Bailey, and the bounty of each of these two giants is 100 million Bailey. Of course, Yuanj knew that this crocodile must be more than such a high bounty. You are just a guy with a bounty of 81 million, is there such an arrogance? Yuanj felt that if you want the other party to be your own crew member, you can't be polite to the other party, and you have to beat the other party first. That's why Yuanj is so provocative. What are you? Crocodile said very unhappily. Yuanj also stood up at this time. Seeing this, Crocodile was also slightly taken aback. When he saw Yuanj, his eyes widened. Because he knows Yuanj, this guy is a big pirate of 1.5 billion. Is that you? Crocodile didn't have any fear, even the four emperors like Whitebeard, he didn't have any fear, the guy in front of him was just a guy of 1.5 billion. Didn't think you knew me. Yuanj was very surprised, he didn't expect that he was already famous. Don't think you can do whatever you want with a bounty of 1.5 billion. Pirates in the Navy don't mean you have enough strength. Crocodile was very dissatisfied with Yuanj's appearance. Hearing this, other people were shocked at this time. Especially Luffy and his party. Because he did not expect that the uncle in front of him would be so powerful, this is simply beyond his imagination. 1.5 billion bounty is estimated to be in the entire world, and there are not many people with bounties like this. Of course, they are also very uncomfortable in their hearts. Because at this time, they still don't have a penny bounty, and they all have 0 bounties. This has a lot to do with Yuanj, because Yuanj is too two-eyed, and the light of all of them is undoubtedly blocked by each other. Of course, when it's okay, Yuanj teaches these people. Because these guys, if they leave by themselves, the strength of these guys will definitely not be much at that time. Yuanj not only taught Zoro swordsmanship, but also taught them to be domineering. Because if these people are not domineering, it will definitely not work. Although they don't even have a penny bounty now, they have to say that their strength is very powerful. Uncle, give me this guy, I must teach this guy a good lesson. Luffy hasn't fought for a long time. He also tried the results of training with Luffy these days. In this regard, Yuanj also agreed. Because this crocodile is telling the truth, the other party is not his opponent at all. Now that he is a big pirate with a bounty of 1.5 billion, he must at least be a little bit aggressive. Yuanj, you asked him to come up, isn't this a death sentence? This crocodile obviously did not take Luffy into his eyes. Hearing this, Yuanj really couldn't stand it anymore, because this crocodile didn't even look in the mirror, what kind of strength he was. With the strength of the other party, he still underestimates others. In fact, Yuanj didn't really want to recruit this crocodile. It wasn't because he really couldn't find anyone. Now there are only 3 crew members, 2 giants and eagle eyes. Yuan Jie also wants to build the strongest pirate group. He wants to attack the navy, crusade the navy, and beat other pirates. As for why this is done, it's because everything is for devil fruits. If he wants to collect all the devil fruits, he must be the last thing to do. Although his strength is very strong now, if a few guys like Aokiji deal with him, he will definitely not be their opponent. Therefore, Yuan Jie also needs help. Meanwhile, on an island. Look, boss. At this time, Bucky's men had just received a wanted order from the world government. Bucky was also very curious at this time. When he saw the reward order, he was also very surprised. Because he knows the person on this reward order, and this guy is Yuan Jie. When he looked at the bounty below, Bakina was taken aback, because he did not expect that Yuan Jie would reward 1.5 billion Baileys. This is really scary. This guy is not as strong as me, why is the bounty so high? In this regard, Bakina is very puzzled. Because in his opinion, Yuan Jie's strength has always been weaker than himself. This guy doesn't even dare to fight himself. Captain Bucky, didn't expect your friend to be so good. Bucky's crew praised at this time. Captain Bucky's friends are also good, so Bucky naturally won't compare to his counterparts. Our Captain Bucky is also very powerful. Bucky's men were flattering Bucky again at this time. At this time, Alrita was in a daze looking at the wanted notice of Yuan Jie. 24. Bucky, he dare not fight with me. Soon, he came to ask Bucky. Why is this guy so powerful? Didn't you say that the opponent's strength is not as good as you? Because he personally heard Bucky say that the opponent's strength is not as good as even him, but this guy has so much bounty, the opponent must have a very strong strength. Yeah, this guy never dared to fight me before. Bucky said proudly at this time. Hearing this, Arita was very speechless at this time. The other party has never fought with Bucky, and this guy feels weaker than himself. Now it is clear at a glance that the other party is not afraid of Bucky. It is estimated that the other party is too lazy to fight with Bucky. Bucky's strength is very weak, and it was solved by the guy in the straw hat who just emerged. This guy still thinks he is very powerful all day long. The fight between Crocodile and Luffy also begins. Yuan Jie was very depressed at this time, because he didn't see the other members of the Baroque Work Club. Collecting devil fruits is Yuan Jie's main purpose this time. Because in this Baroque Work Club, there are many devil fruit-capable people. With so many devil fruits, I naturally want to get those devil fruits. If these guys escaped, then it would be very difficult to find these people. Therefore, Yuan Jie is like this. It seems that the only way to catch this guy is to let this guy call those people back. Now those people in the Baroque Work Club should not know that Crocodile's identity is Mr. Zero. After thinking of this, Yuan Jie at this time was not as worried as before. Then, he watched Luffy and Crocodile fight. This Baroque still has a bit of strength, and now Luffy is not the opponent's opponent at all. The main reason is that this guy is a natural devil fruit person. Luffy knew that if he hit the opponent's body would turn into sand. This made Luffy very uncomfortable. Yuan Jie, do you still think this guy is my opponent? It's just this guy, he wants to be and he wants to beat me, and he wants to be the Pirate King. This is a joke. Luffy can't attack Crocodile at all. Therefore, Luffy was severely injured by the opponent. Luffy, with the arrogance I gave you, your fists can't attack the opponent's 9. If you had arrogance, this situation wouldn't happen. Yuan Jie said to Luffy at this time. He couldn't get used to Crocodile's arrogant appearance, so he reminded Luffy at this time. Domineering. Crocodile naturally knew domineering, but he didn't know how to use domineering. You will be domineering? Crocodile asked at this time. At this time, Yuan Jie looked at each other like a fool. Yuan Jie also didn't know, where did this guy come from to have the courage to challenge Whitebeard? Yuan-Jie did not give any answer to what the other party said. Hearing this, Luffy quickly used his domineering arrogance, and his punch directly knocked Crocodile into the air. Seeing this, Crocodile only felt that this was really incredible at this time. He didn't expect that the other party would be domineering. Crocodile knew that he could not help the other party by relying on the characteristics of this natural devil fruit. Although he is not domineering, he still understands domineering. Domineering can restrain the ability of the devil fruit. After seeing that the other party can use domineering, Crocodile no longer underestimates the other party. Because that domineering is very restrained on the ability of his devil fruit. How did you learn to be domineering? Crocodile asked. For this domineering, he also wants to learn, but he has never found such a way. Crocodile is an old fritter after all. If he has domineering, his strength can be greatly improved. You must know that these 4 emperors are all 3-color domineering guys. These guys are so strong, and it is inseparable from these guys having such a powerful domineering. This is what my uncle taught me. Luffy also answered the other party's doubts at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile looked at Yuan-Jie at this time. Obviously, Yuan-Jie also has domineering, and the domineering is very powerful. At this time, Crocodile also really knew how powerful Yuan-Jie was. Luffy and Crocodile continued to fight together. Of course Crocodile was not reconciled, because he was going to be defeated by a little pirate who borrowed a nameless name, and he was the king of the Chihuahai. Although Luffy has domineering, this guy is not very skilled at mastering domineering. Therefore, this guy can sometimes unleash his arrogance, and sometimes he can't. So, he and Crocodile are inextricably linked. However, this Luffy is really tenacious, and in the end this guy still defeated Crocodile. In the end, Luffy and Crocodile will not fight who is the most powerful, but whose life is harder. Obviously, Luffy's life is a little harder than Crocodile's. Crocodile couldn't believe that he actually lost in the hands of such a young boy. Because Luffy is not their crew, therefore, Luffy gave Crocodile to defeat Yuan-Jie and did not get the devil fruit. When Crocodile woke up, it was very unbelievable. Because he never thought that a kid like the other party would defeat him, which made him a little unbelievable. Who the hell are you? In Crocodile's view, Yuan-Jie was a very complicated person. The others had already gone out at this time, only Yuan-Jie and Crocodile were in the same room. Crocodile, I still lack a crew member, although you are weaker, because I lack a crew member, you can be my crew member reluctantly. Yuan-Jie said to Crocodile lightly at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile was very angry at this time. Because the guy in front of him didn't see himself in his eyes at all. The other party actually said that he was weak, which made him a little unbearable. He is the king of the 7 martial seas. Of course, the most important thing is that he still has important things to do. That is to subvert the country of Alabasta and build a country of his own. 25. Crocodile is a woman. I, Crocodile, will never agree. At this time, Crocodile said to Yuan-Jie very firmly. You will agree later. Yuan-Jie said lightly at this time. I, Crocodile, will not agree even if I die. Crocodile's attitude at this time was very firm. You are not a man. Yuan-Jie said these words lightly. Hearing this, Crocodile was shocked at this time, because he did not expect the other party to know such a thing. Still, Crocodile was a little bit unconvinced of this. You are talking nonsense. I'm a pure man. Could it be that I'm still a woman? Crocodile retorted. Ha ha, don't think you're a man just because you're always smoking a cigarette, you still can't change your role as a woman. Yuan-Jie was babbling nonsense at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile's face became very ugly at this time. Isn't there any sex reassignment surgery in this world? Crocodile still retorted. Ha ha, you've changed from a woman to a man, don't you know that there is sex reassignment surgery in this world? Yuan-Jie said with a smile at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile's face became very ugly. At this time, he confronted Yuan Jie and asked, "Who the hell are you? You just need to know who you are. Who the hell told you this? As long as you know, I know this." Yuan Jie did not answer the other party's question. "Is this what Ivankov told you? You only need that guy, and only me and that guy know about this matter. Do you know that shemale? So you are a member of the Revolutionary Army." Yuan Jie still did not answer the other party's question. "Whether you agree to my request, if you don't agree, I don't mind telling everyone in the world about this. Do you dare?" Crocodile's face was ashen at this time. If this matter is told to the whole world, then he will definitely be ridiculed by others. He is the dignified king of Chihuahua. "Okay, I promise you, but I have important things to do, and I won't go with you now." Crocodile said to each other. "The important thing you said is to subvert Alabasta. Isn't Alabasta very good now? Why do you want to make a name for yourself?" Yuan Jie did not say in a good mood at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile was greatly shocked, because he did not expect that the other party knew all about it. "Who the hell are you?" Crocodile felt that the guy in front of him was not simple. Even if he tried to break his head, Crocodile would not have thought that the other party was a transmigrator. "It doesn't matter who I am, what matters is who you are." At this time, Yuan Jie uttered a sentence that is often in the movie. "Okay, I promise you, release me," Crocodile said to Yuan Jie at this time. At this time, Crocodile was handcuffed by Halushi. Yuan Jie then loosened the opponent's handcuffs. And at this time, Crocodile took action against Yuan Jie. Because in Crocodile's view, if the other party is removed, then everything can proceed according to the normal plan. And he will not be afraid of the other party to threaten himself. "Women, unreliable," Yuan Jie said lightly at this time. Yuan Jie's strength is not something that Crocodile can overcome. At this time, Luffy and the others just came back full after eating. "Uncle, who says women are unreliable? Am I not very reliable?" When Nami heard this, she was very dissatisfied at this time. Of course, when Nami said this, she threw a wink at Yuan Jie. Seeing this, Yuan Jie didn't know what to say. After seeing these people come back, Crocodile stopped immediately. He also had to agree to Yuan Jie's request. Yuan Jie naturally had to use the other party to recall his own subordinates. In this regard, Crocodile is also very puzzled. Because his subordinates can't pose any threat at all, he doesn't know why Yuan Jie cares so much. However, whoever told him to have the handle in the other party's hands, he also had to follow Yuan Jie's method. After giving such an order, those guys were immediately summoned back by Yuan Jie. They were also very dumbfounded. Then, when they came back, a masked man walked them away for a meal, and they didn't know what happened next. Crocodile didn't understand this matter very much. Why did Yuan Jie do this? He originally thought that Yuan Jie was going to kill these people, but he didn't expect it to end like this. Even Crocodile's subordinates were still very confused at this time. After obtaining the devil fruit, Yuan Jie gave the country back to the king of Alabasta. When the king of Alabasta heard this, he was very confused at this time. He didn't know what the situation was. Wei Wei naturally came back. She was still suffering from not knowing what to do with Crocodile, because it was the guy who made Alabasta so unstable. Why didn't she expect that there was someone who saved their country, let go of her father, and handed over the country to them? For Yuan Jie, Wei Wei is very grateful, and of course, she also admires such a pirate who does good deeds. Facing their questions, Yuan Jie just said that he was just seeking a benefit for world peace. Hearing this, these people admire Yuan Jie very much. Even Luffy admires Yuan Jie even more, because Yuan Jie still has such a consciousness. This guy is so powerful, and he has been keeping a low profile. It is because of such a reason that he became a pirate. In this regard, Sanji was very contemptuous. Because in Sanji's view, this guy is his rival in love. Yep, it's a rival. Because these good-looking women worship Yuan-Jie very much, which makes him extremely unhappy. He is a beautiful man, but these women really like such a greasy middle-aged uncle. As for the latter matter, Yuan-Jie did not help these people, but let them solve it by themselves. Yuan-Jie is just helping out by the way. He is not the savior. He will try to help as much as he can. Perhaps this is the consciousness of modern people. 26. Blackbeard was frightened. Then, these people set off again. Yuan-Jie knew that he and these people would be separated soon. After getting along with these people, Yuan-Jie was a little reluctant for them. But Yuan-Jie knows that they have their own way to go and their own things to do. As for the devil fruit on their boat, Yuan-Jie felt that he would naturally take these devil fruits away. Robin also boarded the boat behind, and Yuan-Jie didn't say anything about it, which surprised Robin. Yuan-Jie then drove the boat forward quickly. As for many places in the middle, Yuan-Jie did not stop. Blackbeard began to play Yuan-Jie's idea, because this guy was just a newcomer, and Blackbeard felt that this guy was definitely not strong enough. They want to capture Yuan-Jie, a 300 million guy, and then they can become famous in one battle. If they knew that Yuan-Jie's current bounty was 1.5 billion, Blackbeard would never dare to make such an idea again. Because this is definitely a big pirate, you must know that more than 1 billion pirates in the whole world can now be counted with both hands. More than 1 billion pirates naturally have very powerful strength. After some inquiries, Blackbeard found out the whereabouts of Yuan-Jie and his group. It was too boring for Yuan-Jie and his group to fly in the sky, so they put the boat down. Zoro kept asking Hawkeye for advice. Of course, Hawkeye also taught this guy generously. As for Luffy and Usopp fishing there with great interest at this time. Yuan-Jie also started to sleep at this time. Captain, it seems that Yuan-Jie and his party are in front. When Fan Kao was hunting birds, he saw Yuan-Jie's pirate group. Hearing this, Blackbeard grinned and looked very happy. Because in Blackbeard's view, the other party is the prey of his fame this time. If we catch these guys, we'll be famous all over the world. Blackbeard grinned and looked very wretched. As for other people, this time it was a look of eagerness to try. Although the other party is a big pirate of 300 million, the Blackbeard at this time did not take the other party's house in his eyes at all. Then, they quickly drove in the direction of Yuan-Jie and his group. Hey, there seems to be a pirate ship heading towards us ahead. At this time, Usopp also saw Blackbeard's pirate group. Hello. After Luffy saw the other side's pirate ship, he also waved. Haha, Yuan-Jie, you can't run away today. My Blackbeard pirates will be famous in this world from now on. All I could hear was a wretched laugh from the boat. Yuan-Jie was still sleeping there at this time, because he didn't hear this. Hearing this, these people didn't take this matter seriously at all. Because in their eyes, the other party is just a little-known little highs. Soon, Luffy thought of setting up. Blackbeard. Isn't that the guy Ace wanted to catch? I didn't expect to meet him here. Luffy was also very surprised at this time. Soon, the Blackbeard pirates rushed over. When their boat approached this boat, they jumped directly onto Luffy's boat. When they jumped onto the boat, they were all very happy. Because in their opinion, they jumped onto the other party's boat, and these people must not be able to escape at this time. Because they were so happy. However, Yuan-Jie, Hawkeye, and Crocodile were all sleeping at this time. Where is Yuan-Jie? As soon as Blackbeard came up, the big man shouted. Hearing this, Luffy pointed to Blackbeard at this time. You guys, haven't you seen Lao Su sleeping? You're still yelling. Crocodile apparently heard the noise, and then said angrily. Then the group of them looked over, and saw a familiar face there. It was Crocodile who slept there. Seeing this, Blackbeard was very puzzled at this time, because he didn't know why this guy was on this ship. The other party was not wearing chains and handcuffs. Obviously, the other party was not caught. Captain, look over there. That guy looks like Hawkeye. At this time, Blackbeard's subordinates obviously found Hawkeye, and then shouted, "Why is this guy on this boat?" At this time, Hawkeye didn't have chains or handcuffs on his hands, and the other party wasn't caught. They are all companions of this uncle. Luffy answered these guys' questions at this time. After hearing such a news, the Blackbeard pirates exclaimed, "What kind of characters are these? All of them are Yuanji's companions, it's hard to believe." But soon, they immediately covered their mouths. If these guys are woken up, then these guys will definitely not let them go. Seeing this, Blackbeard didn't dare to make Yuanji's idea at this time. Because the strength of these two guys under Yuan Singer is really terrifying. If you disturb these people, your group will definitely not be able to eat and walk around. "Sorry, we're disturbing," Blackbeard hinted apologetically at this time. Seeing this, all these people present were full of doubts. Because these guys called one by one just now were aggressive, how come these guys are like this now? This made him feel very puzzled. "You are Blackbeard?" Luffy asked at this time. "That's right, it's Blackbeard below." Blackbeard was extremely respectful at this time, because he only knew now that these guys are not easy, and he is no match for these guys. "Ace seems to be looking for you. You are not a good person at first sight. As for what, you should know yourself," Luffy said very badly at this time. Hearing this, Blackbeard was also slightly taken aback at this time, because he didn't expect these people to know Ace. The current Blackbeard doesn't dare to disturb these guys, so he is also extremely well behaved at this time. "This must be a misunderstanding. I used to have a good relationship with Captain Ace. Don't worry, I will explain it to Ace." Hearing this, Luffy believed the other party's words. Since this is a misunderstanding, it's time to explain it. 27. Blackbeard was beaten. "Since you're Ace's friend, let's eat something on our boat before we go. Sanji's food is delicious." Hearing this, the Blackbeard's face at this time was extremely ugly. If he woke up these people, he would definitely have no good results. "I still have something to do, let's eat again later." Blackbeard put those words down, and immediately returned to his ship. "What the hell happened to these people?" Luffy asked in confusion at this time. "These guys are definitely not good people." "Captain, that Yuanj is sleeping there, why don't you attack the opponent? That's a very good time." At this time, the fighting champion Badgers said, "If we do it, we are definitely not the opponent's opponents. Hawkeye and Crocodile are willing to be each other's subordinates, which means that the other party's strength must be very unusual. Just Crocodile and Hawkeye can defeat us. Let's not take such a risk," Blackbeard explained at this time. "Uncle, don't sleep, eat and let go." When it was time to eat, Luffy woke up Yuanj and the others. Luffy also told the uncle about the Blackbeard and his party. There was a guy named Blackbeard just now, the one that Ace was going to chase. He came over just now and said he wanted to arrest us. The guy behind said that it was just a misunderstanding with Ace, and then they were very strange. "Leave." Blackbeard. Yuanji didn't expect that Blackbeard had come here just now, which he didn't expect. But Yuanji knew that this Blackbeard must have come to make up his mind. "This guy actually dared to hit me with his mind. It seems that he has to teach this black boy a good lesson," Yuanji said with emotion at this time. Then, he let the ship sail quickly to chase after Blackbeard. Because that Blackbeard dared to make up his mind. Blackbeard saw that those people did not catch up, and they were relieved at this time. If they really fight, they will definitely not be the opponents of these guys. Just waiting for the Blackbeard to breathe a sigh of relief. And at this moment, a ship came from the sky in front of them. Isn't that the boat of Yuanji's group? How did these guys fall from the sky? In this regard, these guys at this time are very puzzled. It must be the power of the devil fruit. Blackbeard has met the world, and these unusual things are generally the ability of the devil fruit. It seems we are going to really fight each other. Blackbeard sighed at this time. You black boy, I didn't expect you to dare to hit me. Today, I will teach you a good lesson for the guy with the white beard, you black boy. Yuan Jie said very unhappily. HMPH. You, a guy with only 300 million bounty, what are you crazy about in front of us? What Blackbeard is afraid of is not Yuanj, but the two crew members of Yuanj. Because the strength of those two guys is not ordinary. Today I'll show you that even if it's 300 million, I can hang and beat you black boy. Blackbeard felt very unhappy when the other party called him a black boy. Blackbeard also knew that he couldn't escape at this time, so he had no choice but to confront the other side. At this time, Yuan Jie directly used the ability of Momo Fruit, and his speed was directly multiplied. Yuan Jie suddenly came to Blackbeard. Then, Yuan Jie didn't care whether the other party was ready or not, he directly used his domineering arrogance, and then slapped the other party directly. Blackbeard was very embarrassed at this time. Because the other party was caught off guard, it was obviously a sneak attack. Not so, Yuan Jie also used Momo Guo's ability, and his punch was many times the power of the opponent's previous one. The Blackbeard who hit it was shouting again and again. We'll be trying to save Blackbeard with other people at this time. At this time, Yuan Jie was directly arrogant and domineering, and these guys were intimidated by him. Yuan Jie didn't want this black boy to die at this time. Because he wants the black boy to arrest Ace, then he will have a legitimate reason to make a fuss about the city. Because there are a lot of devil fruit capable people there, so that place must be visited. However, at this moment, a voice sounded in Yuan Jie's mind. Congratulations to the host for defeating Blackbeard. The host gets the dark fruit. Hearing this, Yuan Jie didn't know what to say at this time. This dark fruit has a great effect on Yuanj. If he had a dark fruit in the previous battle with Aokiji. If Qingzi couldn't use the ability of frozen fruit, then Zhang Qingzi would be easily defeated. However, Yuan Jie knew that this dark fruit could not be obtained now. If this Blackbeard didn't have the dark fruit, he couldn't defeat Ace. Therefore, Yuan Jie had no choice but to take out the dark fruit that he had just obtained and stuff it into the opponent's mouth. Blackbeard only felt that the guy in his mouth was very unpalatable, and he almost vomited. Because he was beaten by Yuan Jie, and Yuan Jie used Momo Guo's ability, his speed was very fast. Therefore, Blackbeard and Aimee saw something, but he only felt that the things in his mouth were very unpalatable. After teaching this guy a lesson, Yuan Jie left. Why don't these guys get rid of them? And if you give this guy to Whitebeard, they will definitely thank you. Hawkeye asked in confusion at this time. Ace will naturally come and solve this guy personally, I naturally don't want to interfere in this matter. Yuan Jie said to Hawkeye at this time. I just saw that you ate a devil fruit for the other party. Didn't you collect the devil fruit? How did you give the other party the devil fruit to eat? Eagle Eye is obviously very difficult, even if Yuan Jie is already very fast, he still sees the scene just now. I have my own plans. I will tell you about this in due course. What are you talking about? Crocodile watched the two guys chatter, so he ran over and asked curiously. We're just talking about family. Hearing this, Crocodile looked at these two guys with a bad look at this time. Since the two guys didn't talk, Crocodile didn't ask. As they get along these days, Yuan Jie feels more and more that this crocodile looks like a woman. Because this guy is very intuitive and likes to babble when he has nothing to do. This guy always likes to put on a cold look in front of others. 28. 2 billion bounty. When Blackbeard woke up, he was very angry. Because he was so embarrassed. The other party is obviously a sneak attack, and he is not ready for it. Of course, Blackbeard will also know that the other party is indeed very strong, and the other party also has armed domineering and overlord domineering, and these two domineering are also very powerful. This guy is really strong. No wonder people like Hawkeye and Crocodile are willing to be this guy's crew. Blackbeard sighed. He breathed a sigh of relief at this time, because the other party let him die. But Blackbeard is very curious, what exactly is the other party feeding him? Why do I feel like that guy is a devil fruit? However, I don't have any other devil fruit abilities. In this regard, Blackbeard was very puzzled. What Yuan-Jie gave the other party was really a devil fruit, and it was the other party's devil fruit, which Blackbeard could not have imagined. For Yuan-Jie and his group, the Navy still pays great attention. Because this force cannot be underestimated. Report to the Marshal, Crocodile seems to have joined them. Hearing this, the Warring States period could not help frowning. Because he did not expect that Crocodile would give up his Navy status, which was something that Sengoku never thought of. Now there are two people in Chiwahai who have joined each other, which makes the Warring States have to be nervous. Not only that, but two pirates from the giant clan joined them, one named Dongli and the other named Broki. They were all pirates of 100 million 100 years ago. Not only that, but also some not-so-famous guys such as Pirate Hunter Zoro joined them. At this time in the Warring States period, my head really hurts a bit. If it continues to develop, the other party must be another Sea Emperor. Of course, at this time, the naval headquarters had to raise Yuan-Jie's bounty again. From the original 1.5 billion Bailey to 2 billion Bailey. Although the other party only has a few crew members to join, the threat of the other party to the world government is getting bigger and bigger. When Yuan-Jie changed from 1.5 billion to 2 billion Bailey, the navies and pirates all over the world were boiling. Because they are very depressed, such a guy has never heard any news from each other. The bounties they see instructing each other keep increasing. And one increases several hundred million. This makes these guys very puzzling. Therefore, those pirates are very dissatisfied with the Navy, because their strength is obviously very powerful. But I only have tens of millions. Therefore, those pirates are all very unconvinced. The sound of the pirates gave the Navy an incomparable headache. The reason why the Navy didn't make it public is that they felt it was a disgrace to their Navy. It was like beheading their Navy colonel, then defeating their Navy admiral, and then two Chiwahai took refuge in this guy. None of these things can be said, and if they say it, they will lose the face of their Navy. Therefore, they can only continue to increase each other's bounty, but can't tell what the reason is. Although those pirates were not convinced one by one, they really wanted to catch this guy whose bounty amounted to 2 billion. If this is the case, you can get a bounty of 2 billion. If you get this bounty, then you will make a fortune. Whether it was a pirate or a navy, an operation to catch Yuan-Jie started at this time. In their opinion, Yuan-Jie is a sweet pastry. Of course, Whitebeard was shocked. Because he didn't expect that the winemaker on this Rogers boat would rise to 2 billion Baileys. What puzzled him the most was that this guy didn't seem to do anything, and this guy has reached such a high level. Whitebeard must know that what Yuan-Jie did must have hurt the Navy's face, so the Navy did not announce it. This kid seems to be that I underestimated him before, but if he doesn't make a sound, he has already become a blockbuster. For this matter, Yuan-Jie still does not know. As for Bucky the Clown, every time the Yuan Song bounty goes up, this guy is also very happy, and every time he holds a banquet. Because this guy always felt that Yuan-Jie was weaker than him, since Yuan-Jie had such a high bounty, he naturally wouldn't compare himself to the other side. It wasn't long before Blackbeard saw the bounty. When he saw this bounty, he was dumbfounded. That guy now has 2 billion Baileys, this increase is too terrifying. Blackbeard was frightened at this time except for the cold sweat. Obviously, the opponent's strength is quite terrifying. At the same time, on a table not far from Blackbeard. What kind of thing is this Yuan-Jie? This guy's bounty is so high. Yeah, I don't know that these navies made this guy's bounty so high. This guy hasn't even been for half a month, and he's already so famous now. I don't know what this guy did. I've never heard of it anyway. I feel like this guy has nothing but a false name. Yeah, I'm going to try my luck. If I catch this guy, then there will be 2 billion Bailey, which is a lot of money. If I get this amount of money, then don't go looking for One Piece, who knows whether that guy really exists or is fake. Blackbeard naturally heard the conversation between the group of people next to him. Apparently, these guys have a problem with Yuan's high bounty. Moreover, the Navy did not reveal why Yuan got such a high bounty. However, Blackbeard thought that the two Chiwehe under the opponent's hands, especially Hawkeye, even if that guy didn't have a devil fruit, he was still strong and terrifying. And he also knew that Hawkeye fought Shanks, one of the 4 emperors, and he didn't know the result. Obviously, this Eagle Eye has the strength of the 4 emperors, but this guy is now willing to be Yuan Ji's subordinate. Obviously this Yuan Ji's strength is definitely not ordinary. Blackbeard felt that Yuan Ji had probably done a lot of things to offend the Navy, because it hurt the Navy's face. Therefore, the Navy did not speak out about this matter. Blackbeard has now experienced Yuan's strength, and the other party is very unusual. Many pirates began to turn back from the channel. Some people want to get that rich bounty, and some people want to defeat Yuan and become famous all over the world. After all, this Yuan is now a big pirate with 2 billion, the bounty is very high, and the whole world is paying attention to each other. 29. Kill the Quartet. They searched for Yuan's footprints one by one. Yuan's next stop is naturally to go to the empty island, because there is a golden ship there. However, Yuan did not know the exact location of the empty island, so they had to go to Gaia to inquire about the whereabouts of Kulakai. Because that guy knows the whereabouts of Sky Island. Then they set off towards Gaia. As for the people who were looking for Yuan, they just felt like they had disappeared completely, which made these guys who wanted to catch Yuan feel extremely depressed. Of course, they couldn't imagine that Yuan was not sailing on the sea like these guys. Yuan Ji is a child flying in the sky, these people are completely different. Therefore, these people couldn't find Yuan Ji and his party when they searched for it on the sea. However, on this day, Yuan and the others fell from the sky, because they were going to land in Gaia, and they wanted to inquire about the place where Nakulakai lived. Look, that ship fell from the sky. It's incredible. Seeing Yuan and their boat falling from the sky, the people who saw them only felt very incredible. Look, that pirate flag. That seems to be the guy whose navy offered a bounty of 2 billion Baileys. Yes. Because Yuan and the others were on Luffy's pirate ship, when the navy offered a bounty, it was also hung under the Straw Hat Pirates. After hearing this news, the pirates in the vicinity boiled. First, the hungry wolves rushed towards the madness as if they saw their prey. Ha ha, Yuan, your head is mine. Just surrender to us obediently. The head of this Yuan belongs to me. If your other pirates rob us, we will never bypass you. We have several crew members over 100 million. Look, it's a pirate group, it's a very famous pirate. It is said that their captain has a bounty of 200 million. I didn't expect them to come. Yeah, this time, Yuan will definitely not be able to escape. Yeah, why does this guy have such a high bounty? This guy's bounty is so high, let's wait for other people to hunt and kill him. Ellipsis ellipsis ellipsis. Yuan Ji naturally heard this as well. Yuan Ji was surprised that his bounty had risen again, and now it has become 2 billion. Of course, it's no surprise to Yuan Ji, because he has such strength. He also heard the words of these people. These are obviously pirates, and these pirates are arrogant, but they have a bounty of 2 billion, what kind of cattle are these hundreds of millions of bounties? Of course, Yuan Ji is also very hungry and speechless. These guys obviously don't agree with such a high bounty. However, these complain about what they are doing. This is a reward offered by the Navy. If you want to blame, you can blame the Navy. Although Yuan Ji was attacked by these guys, Yuan Ji was very happy at this time. Because among these people, there are quite a few devil fruit capable people. This also means that these guys are here to give themselves devil fruits, and they don't need to search for these devil fruits all over the world in the future. Yuan, Just keep your hands off the ground, and you'll die better. The crusade continued, and the scene was very noisy. Chopper and Usopp were terrified, because they were surrounded by other pirates at this time. It was densely packed around. They had never seen such a big scene. It's over now. You guys will keep the boat safe from attack. Just leave these guys to the three of us. Not all cats and dogs can come and catch me. If people like this are going to die, then I'll give them a fight. Yuan Jie smiled at this time. For Yuan Jie, it was like searching for him thousands of times in the crowd, but that person was in the dim light. Uncle, don't worry, we will definitely protect the ship. Luffy said it very firmly at this time. Laosha, Hawkeye, let's go. Then, these people attacked those people. Seeing that this Yuan is so bad, these people are not polite to them at this time. Kill. However, at this time, Crocodile rushed directly into the sea. This guy was also excited by such a scene. This guy also forgot that he was still a devil fruit ability user. Seeing such a scene, Yuan Jie also covered his forehead and didn't know what to say. He used the ability of fluttering fruit to get Laosha up. As for Yuan and Hawkeye, they killed them. These people naturally saw Hawkeye and Crocodile. After seeing these two people, these pirates were also slightly surprised. Because these two are under the king's Chiwahai. They didn't expect these two guys to join Yuan's pirate group. These pirates also know that the strength of the king's Chiwahai is very strong. But at this time, in their view, they are numerous and powerful. Because they have no fear at this time. Yuan Jie didn't use the ability of the Piao Piao fruit, he directly used the ability of the Momo fruit. At this time, he thought that the speed had doubled. At this time, he was simply floating on the water, and his speed was like a flash of lightning. Yuan Jie clenched the knife in his hand tightly at this time. This knife was borrowed from Sauron. Because Yuan Jie is not very accustomed to carrying a knife on Shen Hengmian. Those pirates showed no mercy to Yuan Singer at this time. They all went to Yuan's bounty one by one. At this time, Yuan Jie naturally didn't show mercy, because these guys were going to kill him, so he naturally wouldn't show mercy. Of course, these guys aren't people either. They are all vicious pirates. Pirates are basically vicious, and as for some guys, they keep the kindness in his heart. Obviously, these people aren't the part that keeps kind-hearted hungry guys. Yuan Jie was so fast that it felt like it was disappearing. This made these guys very suspicious. But before they thought about it, their heads fell to the ground. They don't even know how their heads fell off. Seeing such a scene, other people also shouted at this time, "What are you still doing? Shoot at these guys." Although there are so many pirates, these pirates are unorganized, undisciplined, and completely scattered. The scene was once bloody. But Yuan Jie is not that kind of bloodthirsty person. At this time, he used the power of fusion fruit to directly fuse these ships of theirs. After Yuan integrated these ships, Yuan switched to Momo fruit again to multiply these ships. 30. The Fifth Sea Emperor. And then smashed at the guys who fell into the water. The resting ship that Yuan was fused with was like a huge falling object at this time. It was very huge, covering the sky and the sun. After seeing such a scene, those pirates knew that it was no wonder that the other party had a bounty of 2 billion, and the other party's strength was really terrifying. After seeing such a guy who landed in the sky, these people did not dare to play the idea of Yuan's bounty at this time. There was only one thought in their minds at this time, and that was to escape. Get out of this place quickly. Otherwise, they will sink into the sea with that behemoth. At this time, the scene no longer became bloody, but became very chaotic. One by one, these guys were howling, screaming, and running around. After Usopp saw the thing falling from the sky, Usopp was not too frightened. Because if that thing falls, they will be finished by then. However, at this moment, Yuan Jie returned with Hawkeye. Because Hawkeye's speed is fast, but it is very slow compared to Yuan's speed. Therefore, Yuan Jie brought this guy back. Then Yuan Jie left this place quickly with their boat. When Crocodile saw such a scene, he seemed a little incredible at this time. Because this power is really too powerful. Crocodile was defeated by Luffy. Yuan never fought against Crocodile. Although he saw Yuan fighting Blackbeard, in Crocodile's view, the opponent was just a little pirate, and Yuan won the opponent in this way. If you were yourself, you could easily win the other side. So, Crocodile didn't realize how powerfully Yuan beat Blackbeard. Whoever called Blackbeard's bounty is a little pitiful. At this time, Yuan Jie quickly let their ship leave this place. This time he used the power of Momo fruit and Junjun fruit. Their ship is like a real rocket, and the speed is very fast. Of course, this speed is so fast that the ship is about to fall apart. At this moment, Yuan Jie kept thinking about that voice in his mind. Congratulations to the host for defeating. Congratulations to the host for getting. Yuan Jie's mind was like a buzzer, which made Yuan Jie feel very uncomfortable. But at this time, Yuan Jie was really happy in his heart. Because Yuan Jie has harvested dozens of devil fruits this time. He had never obtained so many devil fruits before. This is a big harvest for Yuan Jie all of a sudden, which also reduces Yuan Jie a lot of time to go to other places to find devil fruits. This battle is very fierce, but this is only for those pirates. For Yuan Jie, it felt like he had just moved his muscles and bones. Because those guys are arrogant one by one. These guys didn't even think about their own strength, and they dared to find trouble for themselves. In the end, the one who survived this battle was simply a blessing. Of course, there are very few such guys. Soon, this battle was spread by EPUB. After hearing such news, pirates and navies all over the world couldn't believe it. Because Yuan's strength was so terrifying, he even defeated all the pirates that besieged them, and very few survived. For this battle, many people do not believe it, because in this battle, there are many pirates with over 100 million. But now these people are all dead. As for those who survived, they were also quite frightened. There was even a shadow in their hearts. Because for that battle, they seemed a little powerless, and even if their companions died in front of them, they were powerless to save them. In the face of the enemy, they are even more powerless to fight back. Because there are not many people who survived, everyone still doesn't believe in such a thing. Therefore, many people started to investigate. But those people really don't exist anymore. Therefore, this one thing feels like a legend to these people. Because the credibility of this matter is not very high, these guys' crusade against Yuan is still not over. Yuan Jie had just harvested a wave of devil fruits, but he didn't expect another wave of people to die. At this time, he has been a good person again, and he has fully satisfied the wishes of these guys. Seeing the enthusiasm of these people, Yuan was waiting for the arrival of those pirates in Gaia at this time. Because others rushed to give him the devil fruit, he naturally had to accept it. In this way, Yuan Jie and the others have harvested a lot of devil fruits here, and there are more than 100 devil fruits. The other people are not fools. After these people were wiped out, they had to believe in Yuan's strength. One person can kill so many people, and the strong ones are very terrifying. Luo looked at Yuan Jie's reward at this time, and he was also very depressed at this time. Because such a powerful guy should not appear in the new world, why did he appear in the new route? This made them supernovae completely unnoticed by the Navy. Now his bounty is not over 100 million. Kira was very arrogant when he saw such a guy, because he didn't take Yuan into his eyes. He was a very arrogant guy. As for the other pirate groups, this time is not much better. Because Yuan's light is too bright, their light was blocked by Yuan. As for the Admiralty, they had to hold an emergency meeting later. Yuan Jie's bounty was once again raised to 2.5 billion Bailey. It wasn't this that shocked the others. What shocked them was that the Navy actually admitted Yuanj and his group's status on the sea. A new sea emperor was born at this time. You know, the Emperor of the Sea is the strongest existence under One Piece. They didn't expect that this guy named Yuanj was so fierce. How long has it been? This guy has known each other for less than a month, and now he has made great progress all the way, and just like this, he has become a little sea emperor. This made them just a little bit in disbelief. Those pirates were deeply jealous of Yuanj, especially those pirates who just came out. Of course, many of them see Yuanj as their role model. Because of this newcomer, in such a short period of time, he actually became a sea emperor. As for the pirates on the new route, they were extremely depressed at this time. Why did such a powerful presence appear on the new route? After Yuanj was determined to be the emperor of the sea, no pirates came to him. This made Yuanj hate the Navy very much. 31. The purpose of coming to the Sky Island. Because the other party is doing this, this is clearly cutting off his own fortune. After confirming his sea emperor, other people dared not do anything to him at this time. Because the strength of the other party is very terrifying, to find the other party by yourself, it is simply to die. Of course, all of this is indispensable for pirates to get in the way. The Navy instigated in the middle, because they wanted to take advantage of the fishermen. Yuanj killed so many pirates, which undoubtedly removed a lot of scourges for them. This is undoubtedly what the Navy wants to see. Of course, the leader of the Navy is also an old fox, and he will accept it as soon as he sees it. If it continues like this, then their Navy may not be able to control it. If it gets out of control at that time, these navies have no intention of playing with fire and setting themselves on fire. Because Yuanj's bounty is so high, it is because Yuanj hurt the Navy colonel, and Yuanj also defeated the Navy admiral and subdued Wang Xiaqiuhai. This is the other side's record, but all this was concealed by the Navy. Therefore, it has nothing to do with their Navy on time. If those pirates know this, it is very likely to cause a riot of pirates in the world. This is something the Navy definitely doesn't want to see. Yuanj and the others found Kulakai behind them, and then they went to the empty island. Because Yuanj and the others can fly directly, there is no need for the so-called submarine jets at all. In order to thank Kulakai, Yuanj also invited this guy to the empty island. Seeing this, Kulakai was very excited. Especially after Kulakai knew that Yuanj could fly. And just like that, they set off from the island. As for the outside round of Yuanj, it is still unabated. Because the opponent is only the fastest guy to become the Emperor of the Sea. As for the Navy, they are investigating Yuanj's identity. Because the opponent's such powerful strength is not cultivated in one day. So they started an investigation into Yuanj's identity. Yuanj is not very famous, but this guy is an excellent winemaker. The Navy also found out the identity of Yuanj through clues. They were stunned to discover that this Yuanj used to be a winemaker on the One Piece ship. This is how these guys never thought. Because they never thought that this guy didn't even have a bounty on Roger's boat before. But I didn't expect this guy to be so powerful now. Although Shanks and Bucky the Clown have both been on Roger's boat before, they are only interns. But this Yuanj turned out to be a crew member on the One Piece ship. For this guy with terrifying power, these navies started all kinds of speculations. Some people think that the other party is the great enemy left by One Piece to the Navy. Some people also think that Roger wants to make his crew One Piece king. For Yuanj's guesses, these guys are all sorts of things. If Eddie Yuanj knew about it, he would probably have laughed out loud. Because I used to live to survive, because I have the ability to terrify. As for now, that's because Yuanj wants to go back, it's just that simple. It's not as complicated as these people think. Of course, these navies also discovered the clues of this Yuan song. Although Yuanj's identity was known to everyone, the curse of Roger's pirate ship was gradually revealed. All this is caused by Yuanj. But they still don't understand why. Therefore, at this time, they were very concerned about Yuanj at that time. Bucky never thought that this Yuan song was so powerful. Captain Bucky, your brother Yuanj is now one of the 5 emperors, and Shanks seems to be one of the 5 emperors. Captain Bucky, you are not saying that you are more powerful than that Yuanj, Captain Bucky, that you should also have the strength of that emperor. Hearing this, Bucky didn't know what to say at this time. Because whoever calls this guy is saying that he is more powerful than Yuanj. Now this guy can't hold his face a little bit. Damn it, this Yuanj is so powerful, how come I didn't find it before, and that guy didn't dare to fight with me before, I didn't expect this guy to be so powerful now. Bucky also complained at this time. Next time you meet that kid, be sure to ask about it. Whitebeard and Shanks were very happy that Yuanj became the 5th Sea Emperor. The relationship between Shanks and Yuanj is very good. As for Whitebeard, he likes the wine made by Yuanj very much. Ant and Kaido were very unhappy at this time. They originally thought that Yuanj was just a clown who jumped on the beam. In the eyes of Kaido and Ant, although the other party's bounty is over 100 million, they haven't paid attention to it yet. Because their bounty is billions, and those hundreds of millions are nothing to them. But they never thought that this guy would become the 5th Sea Emperor in such a short time. This is simply too fast. Yuanj becomes the 5 emperors, and their sphere of influence will be violated at that time. You must know that their sea emperors control a large area. As for Yuanj and the others, they soon came to the empty island. When looking at this empty island, Yuanj felt a little unbelievable. This will be an empty island. Although Yuanj was on the ship of One Piece Roger, Yuanj was Roger's pirate ship on the way. This empty island was the first time for Yuanj. When Luffy and the others saw such a scene, they wanted to play on the cloud one by one. As for Hawkeye and Crocodile, their eyes widened at this time, because they didn't think that this was only a legendary empty island, but it really existed. This is the legendary empty island. Obviously, this crocodile felt like he was dreaming. Seeing this, Yuanj said angrily, "Look at you. You look like you've never seen the world." Yuanj couldn't help but complain about this crocodile at this time. Looking at Crocodile, Yuanj had such an idea at this time. If this guy is really a woman, I don't know what this guy looks like. Yuanj secretly thought in his heart at this time. What are our plans to come to this empty island just now? Hawkeye felt that Yuanj's purpose in coming to this empty island was very not simple. Hawkeye is the guy who knows that Yuanj has that secret. 32. Drive away the golden ship. Of course you will know then. Yuanj didn't talk too much to the other party at this time. Boy, how can you be so sure that there must be an empty island here? Crocodile asked a little puzzled. Yuanj was very uncomfortable listening to the other person's name. Crocodile was still very resentful towards Yuanj. If there is no such a sweeping star as Yuanj, then his previous plan can be realized, and then he can build a country of his own. But now he has been threatened by the other party to be his subordinate. You know, Uncle used to be a crew member on the One Piece ship. Maybe the other party has come to this empty island. At this time Usopp said. Hearing this, Crocodile was also slightly taken aback at this time, because he did not expect that the guy in front of him turned out to be a crew member on the One Piece ship. The other party has such a strong strength that it makes sense. Shanks is just an intern on the One Piece ship, and that guy is so powerful. Uncle, has Roger the Pirate King ever been to this empty island? Luffy is also very curious about what happened to Roger. They have been to the Sky Island before, but they were not on the ship at that time. Therefore, I have not been to the Sky Island. I just heard them mention it. Yuanj did come up from behind, but he had never been to this empty island. Although he has never been here, he is very familiar with this empty island. I also made a quick decision, grabbed the devil fruit of that guy from Analu, and found that golden ship. Yuanji's purpose for coming to Sky Island this time was very simple. At this moment, Yuan Jie suddenly thought of something. That is, there is still a god living on the moon. Anilu came from that place. It seems that the time will come to arrest that Anilu, and then the time will be to ask about the things on the moon. Yuan Jie did not plan to go to the moon at this time. Because his main task is to collect devil fruits, if there is no devil fruit on the moon, it would be a waste of time for Yuan Jie. Part of the reason is that Yuan Jie doesn't know much about the moon. If he goes there rashly, he will definitely encounter unexpected dangers. After these people had played enough, they flew towards the depths of the empty island. Luffy was very curious and asked, "Uncle, we have all come to the Sky Island now, why are we still flying in the sky?" He really wanted to drive on this sea of clouds. In that case, he would be able to fish at that time. If we were driving on the sea of clouds, it would be easy to be discovered by those people on the empty island. What happens when you find out? If we were found, we would have to pay an expensive entry fee, 100,000 Baileys per person. So much. When Yuan Jie said this, these people were very surprised. For a money fan like Nami, this is simply a money grab. It's not too expensive. If you leave the country, the cost will be even more expensive. Then we are still flying in the sky. At this time, Nami immediately felt that it was better to fly in the sky. "Uncle, what if we don't pay?" "If we don't pay, we can go in, but we will be arrested. If we are caught, we will pay more." Yuan Jie told them about it. The people on these empty islands are really dark. Nami also sighed at this time. "Have you seen the door in front of you? There is a gatekeeper there, we better not be discovered by the other party." For Yuan Jie's appearance, Crocodile was very contemptuous at that time. This guy is 5 emperors, and he is still so stingy. On this empty island, it is still sneaky. Yuan Jie sneaked the boat to see that place. After arriving at that place, Yuan Jie used the domineering arrogance, and then stunned the other party. After stunned by an old granny, then visited this place. Crocodile was also completely speechless, because this guy actually used the domineering arrogance to do such a thing, which made him feel very speechless. "Uncle, why don't we visit this town?" Luffy asked curiously. "Let's wait and visit. Let's go hunting for gold," Yuan Jie proposed at this time. After Yuan Jie said this, they immediately stopped talking about it. Hearing this, these people all look eager to try. They were very excited one by one, even Crocodile was very excited at this time. They were looking for the legendary Golden City, and they felt very excited just thinking about it. But what happened next left them speechless. Because the so-called treasure hunt is to arrest the gods of this place, and then torture them with words and deeds. "Where is the gold? If you don't say it, I will throw you into the empty sea to feed the empty shark," Yuan Jie threatened at this time. At this time, the one who claimed to be Anilu was arrested by Yuan Jie and was being tortured by Yuan Jie. The other people's eyes widened one by one at this time. Especially Crocodile, because such treasure hunts don't need to be explored by themselves. At the beginning, this Aniluna claimed to be a god, and called Yuan Jie and the others Qinghai monkeys. However, after this guy was beaten by Yuan Jie, this guy begged for mercy. Later also told them about the golden ship. This guy is too fierce. Crocodile couldn't help sighing at this time. Crocodile was really convinced at this time. He was very fortunate at this time that Yuan Jie chose him as his partner. If it wasn't for this, his consequences would definitely be more tragic. Anilu also did not expect that these people are so savage. When Anilu told these people about his golden boat, he only felt that his heart was bleeding. Because it was hard work. However, money is not as important as life, so he had to tell the other party about his golden ship. When they saw the golden ship, their eyes widened one by one. This guy actually built a golden ship out of gold. When she saw this golden ship, Nami's eyes just lit up. After looking at the ship, Yuan Jie sighed secretly at this time. Only such a ship is worthy of the strongest pirate group in their world. Boy, not bad. We like my boat very much, so we will accept it. Yuan-Jie patted Anilu on the shoulder and said. 33. The ability to defy the sky. What do you want to say? Is it that the previous taste was really too good to suffer? Do you want to suffer again? I didn't mean that. I think this boat is very suitable for you. Anilu said to these people at this time. Being threatened by Yuan-Jie, Anilu immediately swallowed her previous words. As long as you let me go, I can drive this ship off. You can't go on like this. At this time, Anilu and Yuan-Jie began to discuss the conditions. Because in Anilu's view, this ship was designed by himself. This is a ship that can fly, and only its own thunder fruit can make this golden ship fly. Really? I built this ship myself. I have the ability to thunder and lightning. Only I can drive this ship away, other people can't drive it away. As long as you let me go, I will definitely take this ship away. Let the ship go. At this time, Anilu had a confident look on his face. In this regard, the other people sneered. Because this guy is so self-righteous. Almost all of them came floating all the way, and their boats were just ordinary boats, and they didn't need to be like this at all. Believe it or not, if you don't agree to my conditions, even if I die, I will not drive this ship away. At this time, Anilu had an expression on his face. Yuan-Jie didn't say anything, and then let the gold float up. When Anilu saw such a scene, he couldn't believe it. How did you make this ship fly? Anilu was stupid at this time, but at this time he was even more desperate. Because that means he can't escape the clutches of these guys. After Yuan-Jie got the boat, he relied on Momoguo's ability to make the boat bigger. Seeing this, Nami's eyes lit up. Ya did not expect this uncle to have such an ability. The opponent can multiply objects. Then if the gold is multiplied, it is simply a lot of wealth. After thinking about this, Nami seemed to see a road to become the richest person in the world waiting for her. At this time, his eyes were full of money. Nami, what's the matter with you? Seeing Nami like this, Luffy asked curiously. The reason why Yuan-Jie made the boat bigger is because there are two giants behind it. It would be a little too shabby to have them in such a ship. Luffy, let's separate here. I also got my own ship. As for the gold on this ship, you can move as much as you can. And there is a huge golden bell on the top of the mountain. Yuan-Jie said to Luffy and the others at this time. Uncle, you have the ability to make things bigger, just make this thing bigger. At this time, Nami took out a piece of gold and said to Yuan-Jie. Hearing this, Yuan-Jie thought that there was still such a rude operation. Although he does not have a golden fruit, he now possesses the ability of Momo fruit, and the ability of this devil fruit can be multiplied. If a piece of gold is turned into a large piece of gold by yourself, then you will make a lot of money. With such a terrific ability, he will not be short of money in the future. At this time, Yuan-Jie only hated why he hadn't thought of such an operation. Then I wouldn't sell the devil fruit because I have no money. A piece of Nami's gold directly turned into a lump of gold. Nami was excited to see it. Then Nami gave Yuan-Jie all the gold on the boat, and let Yuan-Jie double the gold. Luffy even gave Yuan-Jie a banknote, but the money did not increase, but turned into a huge banknote. At this time, Nami didn't know what to say. Then, Nami doubled the gold on the boat to Yuan-Jie. Then, Luffy and the others suddenly had a lot of gold on them. Seeing such a scene, Nami made Nami happy. So much that this guy didn't hear Yuan-Jie's departure. Yuan-Jie doubled the gold he gave, which made Luffy and his party a lot of wealth. Yuan-Jie has no guilt for these people at this time. Uncle, are you really leaving? At this time, Luffy was pure-hearted, obviously not as greedy for money as they were. You have your own path to follow. If we follow you all the time, it will be difficult for you to grow. So it's time for us to leave and you can shine. When Luffy heard this, he didn't say much at this time. Because Yuan Jie is right. Because of their existence, they are usually the ones to deal with. Those guys are basically something that they can't deal with. As for what they can deal with, they are directly scared away by these guys. Nami finally heard it at this time. What? Are you going? Let's say goodbye to you right here. Yuan Jie said to Nami. That uncle, can I come with you? My sailing skills are very good. If you are short of a wife, I don't mind. I can even give you monkeys. At this time, Nami showed a charming look on her face. Seeing this, Yuan Jie didn't know what to say at this time. Nami really admires Yuan Jie at this time. Not to mention that the other party saved them in Kokoja village, the other party's strength is still so powerful. The most important thing is that the other party still has such an ability to defy the sky. Then there will be no shortage of money. When Sanji heard this, he was very sad at this time, because the goddess in his mind was going to marry such a greasy uncle. You and the guy, you're not handsome, why does Nami like you greasy guy, I'm going to duel with you. Sanji pointed at Yuan Jie's nose and cursed at this time. If it wasn't for the other people to stop him, Sanji would have to fight Yuan desperately. Nami, just follow these guys. If you are short of money, you can find me at that time. Yuan Jie said to the other party at this time. Apparently Nami disagrees. My opponent's strength is something you guys can't fight against, so just follow them, and you will definitely become an excellent navigator by then. After Yuan Jie said this, Nami was also a little depressed at this time. However, since the other party said so, Nami had to agree. Yuan Jie breathed a sigh of relief at this time, because he really had nothing to do with the little girl in front of him. Seeing this, Sanji felt better at this time. As for Enel, that's really stupid. Because he didn't expect that this guy has such ability, it's really against the sky. 34, and the Straw Hat Pirates respectively, please recommend. Crocodile looked at Yuan greedily, because in Crocodile's eyes, the other party was a money maker. Then, these guys held a banquet to send off Yuan and the others. Of course, the food is the empty shark in this empty sea. There are many empty sharks in this space. Then, after the banquet, it was parting. These people are very reluctant to give up Yuan. Because Yuan helped them a lot along the way, and gave them a lot of things. I will definitely become the Pirate King. I will definitely become the most powerful swordsman. I will also become the most powerful navigator. Ellipsis ellipsis ellipsis. Then they got on the golden ship. Along with them was Anilu. Lao Sha, you must take good care of this guy. Yuan Jie told Crocodile at this time. That captain, just kill this kid, why keep this guy? In this regard, Crocodile was very puzzled at this time, and it would be incredible to kill him directly. Seeing how hungry and troublesome this guy is. Old Sha, do you know where this guy is from? Yuan Jie raised such a question at this time. Didn't he come to this empty island? Crocodile was very puzzled at this time. He didn't come from the empty island, but from the moon. When Yuan Jie said this, even Hawkeye, who was not far away, was surprised. He never thought that this guy was actually from the moon. There are people living on the moon. This is really incredible. You know how important this kid is. Yuan Jie said to Crocodile at this time. What on earth is on the moon? Hawkeye came over at this time and asked very seriously. I don't know what's living on the moon. I only know that this guy is from the moon. If there is any secret on the moon, I will interrogate it from the mouth of that kid. Yuan Jie only knew that this guy was from the moon, and he didn't know anything about other things. Yuan Jie didn't plan to go to the moon at this time either. He didn't know what was on it, but he wanted to collect devil fruits. When the time comes, I will get some news out of Anilu's mouth, and then I can waste less time by going to the moon by myself. While Luffy and the others waved, Yuan Jie's boat gradually left this place. As for the next thing, these guys need to overcome by themselves. Of course, without the navigator, Yuan Jie was very depressed because he couldn't tell the direction. However, this guy Hawkeye still knows a little about sailing. Otherwise, it is impossible for this guy to go to the East China Sea alone. Yuan Jie held a meeting and thought about his plans after following these guys away. Yuan Jie thought of the ability of Momo fruit. He felt that he would not be short of money in the future. Because as long as you buy the gold nuggets yourself, multiply the gold nuggets, and then sell the gold nuggets, you can earn a large middle price. Yuan Jie feels that if he is like this, then he is not bad at all. Yuan Jie used to think that he could be a rich man. As for how to do it, of course, it is to buy devil fruits. Because the price of devil fruit is not low. But now Yuan feels that he can be a world-class rich man. Since I am so rich now, I can find a place to buy devil fruits at a high price. In that case, I don't have to travel thousands of miles to find devil fruits. Yuan Jie suddenly had an idea. After thinking of this method, Yuan Jie was very excited. The only thing that is not bad for me is money. As long as I buy it at a high price, then I can stop looking for the devil fruit by myself. Things like so many people chasing and killing him won't happen again. Therefore, he won't get so many devil fruits all at once. The only way I can now is to buy it myself. After thinking about this, Yuan Jie has a new plan to start the evil dragon. Eagle Eye came over at this time, and asked Yuan Jie, "What are your plans in the future?" Because now Yuan Jie is the Emperor of the Sea, and his identity is not ordinary. Definitely can't sail like Luffy and the others. Because their actions are watched closely by the Navy. The Navy is watching every move of their menace. Yuan Jie can't sail, which means that Yuan Jie can't get devil fruit. I plan to make a few partners first, and then build the strongest pirate team. Yuan Jie said to Hawkeye at this time. Yuan Jie had already made such a plan. Because in Yuan Jie's view, he will definitely attack the Navy at that time. Because there are many devil fruit abilities in the Navy. And, of course, the Revolutionary Army. Because the Revolutionary Army also has a lot of devil fruit abilities. If he wants to collect all the devil fruits, he is doomed to be the enemy of these guys. I also want to find a place to buy devil fruits, so in that case, let's not look everywhere. Yuan Jie said to Hawkeye at this time. Hawkeye still knows a lot about Yuan Jie's proposal. Who the hell are you? After Hawkeye finished asking these questions, he came up with this sentence. Because in the eyes of the eagle, Yuan Jie knows too many things. In particular, Yuan Jie even knew about Crocodile's plan. He investigated Crocodile. The most curious thing is not this. What he is curious about is why Yuan Jie can use the power of so many devil fruits. This is simply incredible. You must know that it is impossible to eat 2 devil fruits. If you eat 2, your body will definitely explode. However, Yuan Jie used the powers of various devil fruits in front of him. This made Hawkeye puzzled. Ha, I'm Yuan Jie, I'm your captain now. Yuan Jie said to Hawkeye with a smile at this time. 35. Go to the Chambord Islands. Then he said to Hawkeye, I know you want to know why I have so many devil fruit abilities. I don't know that very well. I feel that as long as I have the ability of devil fruit, I can use it. I didn't know all this. Hearing this, Hawkeye didn't say anything more at this time. Yuan Jie began to think about the plot in one piece. After Luffy came down from the empty island, he arrived at the G8 base, then he met the Foxy Pirates, he met the Seahorse, then he met the Green Pheasant, and then he went to the capital of water. Yuan Jie began to think about whether he could get some devil fruits. Yuan Jie plans to go to the Chambord Islands, where he wants to open a shop to buy devil fruits. Because that place is very lively. And there are a lot of pirates coming and going there. That said, the place is also very dangerous. Because that's where Mary Joa is, and the world government is right there. There are often Navy and Dragon people patronize there. Of course Yuan Jie wouldn't be afraid of those guys. And Yuan Jie has imitation fruit. When the time comes, I can imitate a Tianlong person. At this time, Yuan Jie can only hope that he will encounter some more devil fruits on the way to the Chambord Islands. Yuan Jie felt that he was going to pay more for that guy Mo Li, because that guy had a group of devil fruit capable people. Then Yuan Jie started heading towards the Chambord Islands. At this time, Yuan Jie still had to think about who he was looking for. Because now there are only 5 people here, this person is too few. I want to build the strongest pirate group myself. Although I can't give birth like the ant, maybe I can recognize a few sons like Whitebeard. Well, this is not as old as the other party, who would want to be my son? Yuan Jie also laughed at himself at this time. If I know there will be such a day, then I will find something to prepare. Yuan Jie began to regret that he was too low-key before. If I had been a little more high-profile before, I didn't know how many devil fruits I would get, and I wouldn't be as miserable as I am now. He is in his 30s or 40s now, and the world for him is not very much. Yuan Jie had to race against time at this time. Because he didn't know how long it would take to collect all the devil fruits in this world. Because Yuan Jie also knows that some people are very low-key even if they have devil fruit abilities. Just like Abis and Ayu. It's hard to know if you don't meet people. Obviously, Yuan Jie is not the kind of person with very good luck. He didn't meet that Foxy. As for the person with the hot fruit ability, he didn't seem to have encountered it either, which made Yuan Jie feel very depressed. Moonlight Molly should meet you. Yuan Jie after this meeting is also speculated. However, Moonlight Molly had already run away, and he was no longer in this foggy sea. You must know that Yuan Jie has the strength of a sea emperor, and Yuan Jie has already subdued Hawkeye and Crocodile. Therefore, in the eyes of Navy and Morley, this Yuan Jie is expected to do it on its own. So he didn't dare to stay in this place immediately. He just hid at the Marine Headquarters Marine Vando. The Navy didn't say anything about Molly's arrival, because in the view of the Navy, if Yuan Jie took Moonlight Molly as his subordinate, then they would be in trouble. Yuan Jie came to the Sea of Mist, but there was nothing here. This made Yuan Jie extremely depressed. Yuan Jie was very depressed at this time. Because he has not encountered other pirates at all these days. The other pirates seem to have evaporated from the world. As for why this happened, it was because Yuan Jie was an executioner among these pirates, and the other party killed so many pirates. Of course, the main reason is that the opponent's strength is too terrifying. If you encounter it yourself, you will die. Once, those pirates in this piece did not dare to be presumptuous at all. At this time, some of them did not drive here, and some pirates reached this navy, which was frightening. They can't wait to leave this place immediately. Therefore, strictly these days, I can only interrogate this guy Enelu about the things on the moon. Yuan Jie didn't even receive a devil fruit along the way. This made Yuan Jie extremely depressed. It seems that people are afraid of being famous and pigs are afraid of being strong. Now that I am famous, no one is here to trouble me. Yuan Jie not only sighed with emotion. How much he hoped at this time to have someone who likes to die and come to trouble him. Apparently no one dared such a thing. Because in their view, it is simply a life-threatening game. The current Yuan Jie is the Emperor of the Sea. If he tries to provoke the other party, he will simply be courting death. Of course, Yuan Jie doesn't want to meet a pirate without devil fruit. Because in Yuan Jie's view, the good thing about not having devil fruit is that you are playing a rogue, and you won't get anything if you win. It seems, my identity is still too conspicuous. I want to change my identity. Yuan Jie also immediately thought of this at this time. Yuan Jie remembered that he plundered Feng Kelle's imitation fruit. You can imitate others by yourself, and in this case, you can keep a low profile as always. Only in this way, Yuan Jie feels that he can obtain the devil fruit. 36. Crocodile exposes the nature of women. Chasing is more difficult, add more. Hey, do you still want to eat? Can't you come to help? Crocodile said in a bad mood at this time. Because of the reason they left the pirates, Sanji stopped making things for them. Now this important figure is handed over to Crocodile. Of course, this did not bother Crocodile. What troubled him was that there were two giants behind him. Of course, if Yuanj didn't rely on Momoguo's ability, Crocodile might collapse. If he hadn't had a handle on the opponent's hand, he wouldn't have ended up like this. Crocodile said very rudely at this time. Forget it. I won't eat it. You can eat it alone. Then only Yuan Ji's voice could be heard from outside. Hearing this, Crocodile at this time only felt very strange. Because they haven't eaten for a long time. Now these people say they won't eat if they don't eat, which makes Crocodile very happy. If it is really to be done, these two giants must be indispensable. That would be very troublesome. Crocodile was quick to do his part. This guy originally wanted to eat in it, but he thought of Yuan Ji's face. He was still very unconvinced in his heart. Therefore, he felt that he had to eat in front of the other side. Because look at this guy's reaction. Although this guy is amazing, but people are iron, rice and steel, and they will be very hungry if they don't eat for a day. No matter how powerful he is, can't he eat? When he went out, he watched these guys eat with delight. What kind of situation is this? Seeing these guys look like this, Crocodile at this time was very confused. How did this guy eat it? This confuses Crocodile. However, at this time, Crocodile was very angry. Because these people are too different. He didn't even tell himself that he had something to eat, which made him work so hard. Why don't you tell me you have something to eat? Do you know how difficult it is for me to cook that meal? Crocodile said in a bad mood at this time. You were already making this when we got it. You didn't make our portion either, so we're just going to have this. Yuan Jie said to Crocodile at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile was very depressed. If you follow what the other party says, you only think about it when the other party does it. This is too fast. Bastards. You guys hide what you eat and don't tell me. Crocodile quickly thought that it was probably that Anilu was hiding in the ship. After thinking of this, Crocodile at this time looked at Anilu, who was being held in annoyance. Because this kid hid something on the upper limit of the boat and didn't even tell himself. Seeing this, at this time, Annalena was also depressed. Boy, you still have something hidden on this boat, tell me honestly if you do good deeds. Clodar said to Anilu with a ferocious look. This crocodile has been in this world for so long, so his appearance is also very ferocious. Anilu was naturally not intimidated by the other party, but was afraid of the interrogation of these people. That is really not something that a person can bear, even a god like him cannot. These things have nothing to do with me. Then where did the things they eat come from? Could it not have fallen from the sky? Crocodile put down the food in his hand and said angrily. Where did they come from? I really don't know. Anilu said with a bitter expression at this time. Because he really didn't know, he was awakened by these scents. After he woke up, Yuanj handed him something to eat, and then he started to eat. Seeing this guy like Anilu like this, Crocodile said secretly in his heart. Looking at the other party like this, it is obvious that the other party does not know where the food comes from. Then, Crocodile said to Yuan Jie angrily, Yuan Jie, where did you say you got this thing? Why don't you tell me why you eat it? For Yuanj, Crocodile was very dissatisfied. Not only because now, he was threatened by the other party to come to the ship. I didn't tell you, I just found out when you were doing it. What the hell, you just tell me where all this food came from. Crocodile questioned. These were made by me through the power of devil fruits. Yuan Jie explained to the other party at this time. Isn't your devil fruit able to fly and make objects bigger? Your devil fruit still has such ability, don't you say that your devil fruit is an omnipotent fruit? Crocodile didn't quite believe what Yuanj said, because in Crocodile's view, Yuanj's devil fruit seems to already possess the abilities of several devil fruits. How can there be such power now? Obviously, the other party has something to hide from himself. You're really right, my devil fruit is really an omnipotent fruit. My devil fruit not only has this, but also other abilities. This is just one of my devil fruit abilities. Yuan-Jie said to the other party. As for why Yuan-Jie has so many devil fruit abilities, that's because there are many classes of devil fruits in the Yuan-Jie system. Yuan-Jie can get the devil fruit with non-stop abilities by switching the interface. That's why Yuan-Jie has the ability to have so many devil fruits. Regarding Yuan-Jie's remarks, in Crocodile's view, Yuan-Jie was clearly lying to him. He thought it was Yuan-Jie who estimated that he died because he colluded with this Anilu to get angry at himself. These foods are actually on this boat, but these guys hid those things. He didn't argue with Yuan-Jie at this time. As for the fight, Crocodile was definitely not Yuan-Jie's opponent. Of course, Crocodile was extremely disappointed at this time. He wanted these guys who wanted to cook by himself to watch him eat, but he didn't expect that this guy would actually have something to eat. Now that you say that, then I will hide your food. Then see how tough you are. Crocodile said secretly in his heart at this time. He really hoped that Yuan-Jie would be embarrassed. Yuan-Jie could never have imagined that Crocodile, who looked grim from the outside, was actually such a heart. Unexpectedly, this guy pretended to be like that in front of outsiders. Yuan-Jie also sighed at this time. Seeing Yuan-Jie's refusal to admit it, Crocodile was thinking in his heart at this time. If I find that thing, hide it, and see what that guy will say at that time. Because Yuan-Jie was so quibble, that just gave himself a suitable reason. After thinking of this, Crocodile at this time began to look inside the ship. 37. All-purpose fruit. Crocodile feels like a thief. Naturally, Yuan-Jie didn't know that Crocodile still had such careful thoughts. He only felt that this crocodile wanted to steal gold. That's old sand. If you want my gold, don't be embarrassed, I don't lack this stuff now. Don't act like a thief. I don't really care about Yuan songs like this gold or something. If it was before, he might still care. Although he doesn't have golden fruit now, Yuan now has Momo fruit. As long as he makes the gold bigger, then he can have a lot of wealth. Therefore, it is a complete lack of gold for him. Just buy a piece of gold and make it bigger. It's that simple. Yuan-Jie is still very grateful to Nami. Because he never noticed it before. Of course, this made him very regretful. If he knew it before, he would definitely not sell the devil fruit to maintain his life. After hearing Yuan-Jie's words, Crocodile was very angry. Are you that kind of person? Although he likes money very much, he is a very generous person. If you need money, you will definitely ask the other party to ask for it without hesitation. But now, his purpose is not as Yuan-Jie said. Don't worry, if I want money, I'll definitely ask you for it unceremoniously. Do you think I, Crocodile, are the kind of person who likes to gossip? Crocodile said angrily. I think so. However, Yuan-Jie gave the crocodile this answer. This left Crocodile not knowing what to say. After saying this, Yuan-Jie went on to ask, if you're not like that, what are you doing? Crocodile is also a person who has been in the sea for so long. When asked by the other party, Crocodile immediately replied, of course I will take a look at this ship, because this ship is very difficult. Of course, Yuan-Jie is not a fool, of course he didn't believe in the nonsense of Crocodile. However, he can do whatever he wants, as long as the ship is not torn down. Watching Crocodile's receding back. At this time, Yuan-Jie also secretly sighed in his heart. Although this old Shah has become a man now, in front of other people, he is cold and arrogant, but he still can't change his woman's clever personality. Yuan-Jie thought about it for a long time. Of course, he thought of a lot of messy things. For example, is this old sand a man or a woman? Because the original plot didn't explain it. Of course, Yuan-Jie felt that the other party was estimated to be a she-male. And it's still a female shemale, otherwise, Ivankov is just a shemale, and the guys under him are all shemales. As for Crocodile, he basically turned the whole ship over. But no food was found. This puzzled him too. Is there anything? Is that guy hiding what he eats so secretly? This guy really doesn't trust me. Crocodile said fiercely at this time. Forget it. When frightening a meal, see where this guy hides his food. The next day, at dawn, Crocodile shouted Yuanj to eat. Seeing Crocodile like this, Yuanj was very speechless. Because you used to be a king in the 7 Martial Seas in the past, isn't it good for you to have the aura of being a big pirate? Because Yuanj felt that Crocodile was a foodie at this time. It's not that Crocodile really will starve to death if he doesn't eat, but he wants to know where Yuanj gets to eat. Okay, who told me I didn't have a crew? Yuanj sighed helplessly at this time. Then, Crocodile saw Yuanj break off one of his fingers. Seeing such a scene, Crocodile felt very cruel at this time. After breaking off that finger, Yuanji's hand did not bleed. Seeing such a scene, Crocodile was stunned. What kind of situation is this? He asked like a curious baby. Yuanj did not answer Crocodile's question. Then, Yuanj enlarged his finger. Is so much okay? Yuanj asked Crocodile at this time. What kind of situation is this? Crocodile asked very puzzled, because he wants to eat. This guy self-harmed. It seems that he is completely incompatible with himself if he wants to eat, okay. However, this Crocodile was very smart, and he quickly thought of something. Are you going to give me this to eat? Crocodile said in disbelief. Yeah, isn't your brain very smart? Why did you think of it now? I thought you knew it long ago. Yuanj originally thought that Crocodile knew it, but he didn't expect that this guy didn't know. And this guy is so surprised, it feels like he has never seen the world. Thinking of this, Crocodile felt uncomfortable. Because he turned the boat over several times yesterday, but found nothing, which made Crocodile think about it for a long time last night. But he never thought that this guy was actually holding a pair of fingers for himself to eat. Of course Crocodile knew what Yuanj was doing. The opponent is a devil fruit such as the food type in the nature type. He can transform his body into something like that. And its own rustling fruit is a principle. It's just that oneself is sand, and the others is food. After Yuanj doubled that finger, he handed his big finger to Crocodile. As for Yuanji's broken finger, a new finger soon grew. When looking at that finger, it just feels terrifying. I feel like a man-eating guy. However, this Crocodile is obviously very bold. He took that finger directly and ate it. How is it? Yuanj asked at this time. Very good. Crocodile replied. While eating, Crocodile generally asked. You weren't another type of devil fruit before, why did you come up with something like this? This kind of ability should only be found in the food department in the nature department. Don't you have other abilities? In this regard, Crocodile was very puzzled. He knew that a person could not eat 2 devil fruits. If you eat 2 devil fruits, there will be 2 devils living in your body. The 2 demons would fight, and then their body would explode and die. The opponent had previously shown that it was not a food-type devil fruit, but now, why does this guy have such an ability, which makes him very puzzled? Didn't you say that my devil fruit is an omnipotent fruit? I thought you already knew it. Yuanj said to the other party at this time. Universal fruit. 38. Angry at Crocodile. Is there really such a fruit? Dongli asked curiously at this time. I don't know very well either. If the captain has such ability, then there must be such a devil fruit. Broki answered at this time. For the other party, the omnipotent devil fruit, Crocodile was very disbelieving. He didn't believe the other party's nonsense, and the other party was fooling himself at first sight. Impossible. What devil fruit did you eat? Crocodile was very curious. I didn't tell you. Yuan-Jie said impatiently at this time, because at this time Yuan-Jie didn't want to leak this secret. He trusted Hawkeye so much that he told the other party. As for this crocodile is obviously not an honest person, and the other party is still very reluctant to stay on his own ship. If he didn't know the other party's little secret, the other party would have slipped away long ago. HMPH. Don't think you can fool me. It's okay for you to fool other people, but if you want to fool me, Crocodile, you have to wait a few years. At this time, Crocodile looked like an old man, as if he knew everything. What did you call me? Tell me the truth. Crocodile was arrogant at this time. If I don't say it, are you still going to do something to me? Yuan-Jie's tone changed obviously at this time. Hearing this, Crocodile at this time thought of Yuan-Jie's strength. After thinking of this, Crocodile did not continue. The other party is someone who cannot be offended by himself. And the other party also holds his own little secret. After thinking of this, Crocodile fainted, and then asked no more questions. Then he could only vent his anger on that one finger. Because in his opinion, that thing is equivalent to Yuan-Jie. After taking a few bites, Crocodile suddenly thought of something. Then immediately vomited. Seeing the other party like this, Yuan-Jie felt very curious at this time. What is the situation on the other side? I feel like I've given each other a drug. However, he was completely unmedicated. What's the matter with you? After vomiting for a while, Crocodile's face was black like the bottom of a pot. Crocodile stared fiercely at Yuan-Jie, and then asked sharply, "Did you go to the toilet just now?" "Yes." "Then you didn't seem to wash your hands when you went to the toilet just now." At this time, Crocodile was like a policeman interrogating prisoners. Yuan-Jie scratched his head, and then who said to the other party very clearly, "I don't remember very much about this matter." "Bastard, you just didn't wash your hands." At this time, Crocodile scolded angrily. Then, dry vomit. He felt as if he had eaten shang. No, he felt like he ate that thing at this time. Because that guy Yuan-Jie didn't wash his hands when he went to the toilet just now. Then Owen is going to wash his hands, and then get you to eat. Yuan-Jie said, and then broke towards the toilet of the ship. Hearing this, Crocodile was gnashing his teeth at this time, because this guy is really an asshole. Asshole. After scolding, Crocodile retched. As for Hawkeye's decoction until his death, it seems that all these things have nothing to do with him. Soon, Yuan-Jie came back after washing his hands. Of course, at this time Crocodile also retched. He waited fiercely for Yuan-Jie with 2 eyes, feeling that Yuan-Jie was his father's enemy. "Bastard, you gave me your unwashed hands to eat." Crocodile angrily said, now he can't wait to slash the guy in front of him. Because this kid is so nasty. Didn't I wash my hands now? At this time, Yuan-Jie also said angrily to the other party. When he heard the other party's rebuttal, it made Crocodile even more angry. At this time, he was so angry that his lungs almost exploded at the words of the other party. "But you didn't wash your hands just now, and I vomited that thing." At this time, Crocodile had already lost his usual grim appearance, as if he was a shrew. "Then you didn't vomit, didn't you?" At this time, Yuan-Jie still retorted relentlessly. When Crocodile heard this, he was really furious. At this time, he has a desperate posture with Yuan-Jie, but he also knows that he is definitely not the perverted opponent in front of him. Even if he does it himself, he can't be the opponent's opponent. And it's not that you have to eat in the morning. Weak, if you want to eat in a hurry, I won't give you breakfast without washing your hands. Yuan-Jie said that he couldn't afford the other party's appearance. After saying this, he said provocatively to Crocodile, "If you are really unconvinced, I will fight against you, and if I lose, it's up to you." At this time, Yuan-Jie said to Crocodile very curiously. When Crocodile heard this, it was very dissatisfied. Because the other party is obviously bullying himself. If you really fight, how can you be the opponent's opponent? Of course he wouldn't agree to the other party's request. He didn't say anything about eating the other party's breakfast without going to the toilet. When he was beaten by the other party, he would naturally feel even more aggrieved. At this time, Crocodile could only stare at Yuan-Jie with two eyes. This is all he can do at this time. Yuan-Jie also didn't know what to say about the other party's appearance. If the other party argues with him, he will definitely argue. However, the other party is in the same hormonal state, so it is impossible to look at the other party in the same way. Yuan-Jie didn't feel that way. Crocodile just kept staring at Yuan-Jie. Under Hawkeye's instructions, they were getting closer and closer to the Chambord Islands at this time. At this time, Eagle Eye said to Yuan-Jie, "The Chambord Islands are in front of you, and that is where the world government exists. What are your plans? Go to the Great Root or do something else." When Yuan-Jie heard this, he thought for a while, and then replied, "I think I'm going to spend some time on the Chambord archipelago." "What are your plans?" "Of course I'm following you. If you're going to stay in this place, then I'll go back," Hawkeye said to the other party at this time. Obviously, they can't go together. You must know that their current identities are not ordinary. They are now the focus of the Navy to observe each other. Their every move is being watched by the naval officer. 39. The world has evaporated, one more. Of course, they are an exception. Because the Navy could not find their traces at this time. Other people's boats fly on the sea, but these guys fly on the sky. So to these navies, these guys are just playing missing. It made these navies extremely depressed. Because since that war, they seem to have gone to the empty island, and these guys in the back seem to have disappeared. If these people really disappeared, the Navy would really feel better, but the life and death of these guys are now uncertain. This is also a headache for the Navy. These guys are very terrifying guys. If they walk around the world, the whole world will be turbulent. The other four emperors are under the surveillance of the Navy. If they have any major changes, it will definitely lead to the idea of the Navy. But now this group of guys has nothing to do with the Navy, and these guys are still the most popular guys recently. At the same time, the Navy also held an emergency meeting for these guys at this time. What do you think of this group of people? At this time, Warring States' face was very ugly. Because of Yuan-Jie, they also held several meetings, but the meetings obviously did not have a good effect. These guys were not at all restless. First they killed their Navy Colonel Mouse, and then there was such a big commotion. After such a big commotion, these people disappeared with their Navy. The Navy really doesn't know what to do with these guys. Their Navy has found out a lot of things, and this guy is the crew member of Roger's ship. The so-called curse on the Roger pirate ship is also related to the brewer who used to be on the Roger pirate ship. Anyone who fights the Roger pirates will lose their devil fruit powers. Now their admiral is also fighting against each other, and his devil fruit's ability has disappeared. Aokiji has no devil fruit, and his fighting is greatly reduced. This is undoubtedly a huge trauma for the Navy, because they lost a high-end combat force. Although Aokiji's devil fruit ability was taken away, Aokiji was not at all unhappy at this time. This guy is still the same as before, still so lazy. Of course, after this guy disappeared because of the devil fruit ability, the tasks assigned to Aokiji by the Warring States period also gradually decreased. He doesn't have the strength he had before, and he can't do many things. If you send this guy out, it will undoubtedly put this guy in danger. Of course, the Navy didn't say anything about it. If those guys knew about it, there would definitely be a lot of people to deal with Aokiji. Aokiji can be promoted to Admiral of the Navy. Naturally he has done a lot for the Navy. He caught a lot of pirates and wiped out a lot of pirate groups. Among these guys, there are fish that slip through the net. They are very resentful of Aokiji. If these guys know about it, they will definitely come to Aokiji to trouble them. In my opinion, we have to improve the strength of our Navy as much as possible. Aokiji is now seriously lacking in combat effectiveness, and he is no longer qualified as an admiral. You must know that admiral is the high-end combat power of the Navy, and this matter is very important. It will be spread out soon. If those abominable pirates know about this, they will be mad again. The person who spoke was a guy with a cigarette. This guy still had a rose pin to his chest. This guy is Akainu. Akainu said mercilessly at this time. Because he also knew that the Warring States period intended to promote Chingzi. Therefore, the relationship between him and Aokiji is very bad. Now Aokiji has such a situation, which he is very happy to see. Therefore, he only made such an opinion at this time. Hearing Akainu say this, Sengoku also asked curiously at this time, Akainu. Then tell me your opinion. Marshal, I think we should start the recruitment of the world in advance. Through the recruitment, we can improve the combat effectiveness of our navy. And among these people, there are inevitably some very good guys. We can promote their official positions. Akainu made such an opinion at this time. For Akainu's suggestion, the Warring States period pondered for a while. Okay, I think this is a very good suggestion. In fact, the Warring States period had such an idea for a long time. This guy from the Warring States period has been the admiral of the Navy for so long. If he has no brains, they can't just fight with the Navy like this. What do you think about Yuanj disappearing? Warring States asked these people at this time. Because this is also the guy that their Navy is very troubled by. Of course, the Navy did not expect that this guy was hiding so deeply. This guy used to only tell the story of a small winemaker on the Roger pirate ship. I didn't expect this guy to have such a terrifying combat power now. This made them, the Navy, startled. For Yuanj and the other navies, they also complained endlessly. This guy was so low-key before, but now this guy is so high-profile, which makes the Navy very puzzled. Of course, this guy was a little too low-key before. Even as a member of the Roger Pirates, this guy is completely out of the scope of the Navy's bounty. Therefore, at this time, they can only know the opponent's ability from the battle with Aokiji. Because in the battle with Chingzi, Yuanj used a lot of devil fruits. Therefore, when Chingzi described Yuanj's ability, it was very messy. Therefore, these guys didn't know much about the ability of the other party. However, the opponent defeated Chingzi in a few minutes, and they also knew that Yuanj's combat power was extraordinary. Even in the Warring States period, there is no possibility to defeat Aokiji so quickly. I have to say that the strength of this Yuanj is very strong, and it is not generally strong. At this time, Kizaru said with a smile, I have heard about the legend of the empty island. Maybe that empty island is real, but the other party is someone who has stayed on the Roger pirate ship, what he knows. There must be a lot of them. You must know that Roger's group has reached many mysterious places, even our Navy doesn't know about it now. Garp was there at this time, but he was silent. Because I know that my grandson Luffy is fooling around with these guys. Although Luffy is now a pirate, he is still very worried about Luffy. That Yuanj was very powerful immediately, and the other party actually followed his grandson. From Garp's point of view, this guy must be plotting something. Yeah, that guy is very difficult. That guy just disappeared. I don't know where it will appear, so we can't have any slack now. 40. A variety of devil fruit abilities, 2 more. Crane spoke at this time. Chingzi, come and talk about this Yuanj in detail. What kind of person is he, and the details of the battle that day, please talk about it. Akainu said to Aokiji at this time, and this tone was more like an order from a superior. Aokiji is of course very unhappy with Akainu. If they weren't all admirals, this guy would have fought with this guy long ago. However, Aokiji is obviously not a very impulsive guy. These days, I have only carefully thought about the battle of the day. The opponent first flew, and then I froze the sea, and then the opponent fought with me. The opponent has a very powerful domineering, and the opponent can vibrate, shattered my ice cubes. Maybe the opponent borrowed a sword from Hawkeye for a quick fight. With the sword, the guy's speed also became very fast. The opponent's speed is too high, fast and powerful, that's why I was defeated so easily by the opponent. Aokiji began to recall the battle at this time. Although this exhibition was a bit long for Yuan-Jie, the battle was very fast for Qingzi. How long have you been fighting with each other? Akainu continued to ask at this time. I fought the opponent for 5 or 6 minutes. Aokiji replied at this time. They only listened to Qingzi saying that their Yuan-Jie's battle was very broken, but they didn't expect that he and Yuan-Jie's battle would last for 5 or 6 minutes. Regarding the battle between Qingzi and Yuan-Jie, they also listened to Qingzi's report in the phone bug. But I didn't expect it to be like this. Aokiji also just returned to the naval headquarters. Qing Pheasant is not like Yuan-Jie and the others. It not only has fluttering fruit flying in the sky, but also Junjun fruit is a powerful driving force. That speed is naturally very fast. Aokiji and the others took a lot of effort to return to the naval headquarters. Qingzi, what do you think about this guy Yuan-Jie? Warring States still wanted to see Qingzi's evaluation of Yuan-Jie. You know, even the 4 emperors have very different personalities. For example, Kaido and Shanks are 2 completely different pirates. Although Shanks is very powerful in combat, he is not like Kaido. Kaido does not worry about the navy. Therefore, they still need to know a lot about this person in Yuan-Jie. Such a guy must have a great threat. He poached our navy's Chiwahai, and he actually killed our navy colonel. If he kills it, he will kill him. He even asked our navy to write down that kind of guy. This is simply a provocation of our navy. We are the embodiment of justice, and we cannot tolerate such humiliation by these hateful guys. Akainu said at this time with great resentment. In his opinion, Yuan-Jie is undoubtedly a vicious person. I did some research based on what those guys wrote. Just like the ones above, that Colonel Mouse really colluded with the pirate Aaron to oppress the local people. I guess that's the reason why that guy was born. Kill Colonel Mouse. Aokiji spoke out about his investigation at this time. He was very curious about what Smoker said, so he went to investigate. HMPH. Are these pirates good people? What qualifications do they have to evaluate these? They don't even look for a mirror to see what kind of virtue they have. Akainu is very dissatisfied with what Aokiji said, because he hates these pirates very much. What do you? Akainu said. Aokiji didn't say anything at this time. And, it was at this moment that Carp spoke. Warring States. Did you find this guy very strange? What's so strange about this guy? Crane also asked curiously at this time. Shouldn't this flying fruit be the ability of the Golden Lion Shiki? After the opponent fought Roger, that guy's ability disappeared. And the opponent can shake, it shouldn't be the guy with the white beard before. Ability. When I heard Carp say that. At this time, the expressions of all the people present were very ugly. Because they knew what Carp wanted to say. Cap, are you saying that this guy doesn't just make the power user's devil fruit ability disappear, but this guy can deprive the devil fruit ability? Warring States also asked at this time. When they heard that the Warring States Marshal said so, at this time the other people were also surprised to close their mouths. Of course, some people are also curious at this time. According to Garp, doesn't the other party possess the power of 2 devil fruits? You must know that a person cannot eat 2 devil fruits. Eating devil fruits is equivalent to letting a devil gather in his body. If he eats 2, the 2 devils will fight, and then the body will be destroyed. Will burst and die. At first, some people thought that by eating 1 devil fruit, they could obtain the ability of a devil fruit. If they eat a few more devil fruits, they will have the ability of multiple devil fruits. However, the thought is good, but the body will explode. Therefore, when the devil fruit person obtains the ability of another devil fruit, they dare not have any negligence. If they eat this devil fruit, it is tantamount to eating a bomb. After the Warring States said this, these people still couldn't believe it. Because this is so incredible. Not to mention the ability to plunder the devil fruit that defies the sky, it is very incredible to have the ability to have multiple devil fruits. It is very likely that the other party has the ability to capture devil fruits, but this is simply incredible. As for the other party's ability to have multiple devil fruits, I still don't believe it. The yellow monkey spoke at this time. He didn't believe it at all. After saying this, the yellow monkey said to the green pheasant at this time, "Chingzi, did you read it wrong?" Aokiji wasn't angry with questions like Kizaru, because it was so unreasonable. Even he himself is very skeptical, he must have read it right, and Aokiji can be sure of this. I shouldn't have read it wrong. I have also made conjectures about these, and I also think it is very incredible. Aokiji replied at this time.